Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty amazing. How a vitamin we all think we know, good old vitamin C, is being used in a completely new way, as a high-tech weapon against a really, really tough-to-treat cancer. So, let's just start with the big question, right? Can something as simple as a vitamin actually make a real difference against a disease like cancer? I mean, it sounds a little too good to be true, and honestly, the science is usually way more complicated than that. But it turns out, in this one very specific case, for a particularly nasty and aggressive lung cancer, researchers have figured out how to turn that simple vitamin into, well, a kind of sophisticated guided missile. And the way they do it is just brilliant. Okay, so first things first, let's meet the villain of our story. We're talking about a type of cancer that has basically built itself into this impenetrable fortress, one that's completely invisible to our body's own defenses. It's called LKB1 deficient non-small cell lung cancer. Now, the name's a mouthful, but the key thing you need to know is that it's missing a gene, LKB1. And that's not a small detail. That one genetic flaw completely rewires the cancer, making it super aggressive and, up until now, almost impossible to treat with our best modern therapies. So here's the real problem. This cancer forms what's called a cold tumor. You can think of it like a stealth bomber flying completely under the radar of your immune system. Your body's best soldiers, the cancer-killing T cells, they just can't see it. They can't find it to attack it. And because of that, our most powerful immunotherapy drugs just fail. They literally have no target to lock onto. And this is where our unlikely hero makes its entrance. And this is so important, we are not talking about eating more oranges or taking your daily supplement. No way. This is a completely different beast. Okay, check out the difference. The vitamin C you get from food, that's a low-dose antioxidant. It's good for you. The version we're talking about is a pharmacological, super high dose delivered straight into the bloodstream. This massive dose completely flips its function. Inside a tumor, it becomes a pro-oxidant, creating this toxic chemical storm that cancer cells just cannot survive. So the question is, how do you get this toxic payload inside the cancer's fortress? Well, it turns out the fortress has a secret back door. And what scientists figured out is how to turn the cancer's biggest strengths against itself. You see, this specific cancer has two fatal flaws. First, its internal chemistry is already a total mess. It's basically drowning in these unstable molecules called reactive oxygen species, or ROS, which pushes it right to the edge of self-destruction. And second, to fuel its crazy growth, it has a ridiculous number of gates on its surface, GLUT1 transporters, that are just there to guzzle down sugar. And this opens the door for a beautiful three-step trap. 1, the cancer's gates are wide open, just screaming for fuel. 2, the high-dose vitamin C is a perfect molecular lookalike for glucose, so the cancer cell greedily pulls it inside thinking it's getting lunch. And 3, instead of getting fuel, the cell gets flooded with this pro-oxidant vitamin C, which pushes its already stressed-out chemistry into total catastrophic failure. But the story doesn't stop there. The cancer cell dying is one thing, but it's how it dies that changes the entire game. This isn't a quiet death. It's a violent, loud explosion that acts like a rescue flare, finally showing the immune system exactly where that cold tumor is hiding. This process has a fantastic name, pyroptosis. It literally means fiery falling, and it's perfect because instead of just fading away, the cell swells up, starts punching holes in its own skin, and then bursts open, spewing its guts everywhere. It's a messy, inflammatory death, and that's exactly the point. Here's how it happens on the molecular level. That huge wave of ROS from the vitamin C overload, it activates an executioner protein called caspase-3. Caspase-3 then acts like a pair of scissors, snipping another protein called GSDME. Once it's cut, the active part of GSDME races to the cell's outer wall and starts punching holes in it, causing the cell to puff up and just explode. And that explosion is so important because, as the researchers put it, this fiery death is also immunogenic. That means it's designed to provoke an immune response. Specifically, it wakes up the immune system's intelligence officers, the dendritic cells. When that cancer cell bursts, it releases a chemical distress beacon. It shoots out molecules like ATP and HMGB1. Now, these things are not supposed to be floating around outside a cell. So when dendritic cells spot them, they know something has gone very, very wrong. They rush to the scene to check out the wreckage. And this, right here, is the climax of the whole strategy. By forcing the cancer to blow itself up and send out that distress signal, vitamin C turns that invisible cold tumor into a blazing hot target. It finally makes it vulnerable to the very immunotherapy that couldn't touch it before. I mean, look at this transformation. Before, the tumor was cold, invisible, no T cells around, and immunotherapy was useless. After the high-dose vitamin C treatment, it becomes hot, completely exposed, flooded with immune cells, and now, finally, immunotherapy works. What you're seeing is a massive flood of a very specific kind of immune cell, these T-PEC cells. You can think of them as the elite special forces that are absolutely required for immunotherapy to do its job. So the vitamin C isn't just killing a few cancer cells, it's summoning the perfect army for the real fight. And the preclinical results are just incredibly clear. Immunotherapy by itself fails. Vitamin C by itself, it slows things down a bit, but not much. But when you put them together, you get this powerful, synergistic beatdown of the tumor. It's a classic case where 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 10. So, this is the most important point, the big takeaway from this whole explainer. High-dose vitamin C isn't acting like a cure-all by itself. It's what we call a sensitizing agent. It's the key that picks the lock on that heavily fortified door, letting the really powerful immunotherapy drugs finally storm in and do their job. It's just an incredible example of scientific creativity, right? Taking something so familiar and finding a completely new way to use it. It really makes you wonder, what other simple, everyday molecules are out there just hiding in plain sight, waiting to be unlocked as weapons against our toughest diseases? Thanks for watching.